So if you can squeeze all 60 off here, I would ideally like it, but we can be kind of aiming right here. Should be all right. Thank you. Yeah, that's great. Hey, okay, cool, all right. It's 2 o'clock, we're doing this, we're staying on time. Hello. I told you guys we were starting on time. Hey, how's everybody going? How's everybody's Sunday going, I'm sorry. I've had a lot of caffeine and we're getting started, so it's good. I talk really fast. If you need anything, my name is Sam, hello. So I'm the program director here at the Center for Entrepreneurship and Community Development here at Loyola University. And welcome to the 2024 IDEAcorps MBA Consulting Challenge presented by Dr. Bobby and Lory Kent Savoie. Hooray. So over the past 2 months, we've had 9 incredible MBA teams working, MBA and graduate level students from 9 universities. I can't hold this and the mic at the same time. There we go. We've had 9 incredible MBA teams and graduate students from 9 awesome universities across the country who've worked diligently with 9 amazing local and regional startups to develop a robust scale-up strategy for those local companies, right? They've been consulting and diving deep into the ins and outs of each business and the what have yous to help them significantly scale their operations over the next 18 months. It's a really tough thing to do, right? What does it mean to scale exactly? Well, these teams develop plans specifically to help their company clients design their organizations to be able to leverage repeatable processes and rapidly grow sales without drastically increasing costs or losing margins. It's a lot of words. They're trying to help these companies grow and grow and grow without being too expensive, right? Making it sustainable, right? That's tough to do. So I want to give a round of applause to all 9 of these teams because they have been absolutely monsters over this year. So thank you guys for all doing that. And I'm excited to see what you guys have come up with for your clients. Speaking of, oh, I gotta flip the page. See, I did not do this right. I haven't done this in a while. Speaking of our 9 MBA teams, we're super excited to welcome these 9 awesome teams here from across the country, including the Manderson Graduate School of Business at the Culverhouse College of Business and at the University of Alabama, our winners from last year. They are awesome. The Hoff Graduate School of Business at the Warrington College of Business at the University of Florida. I got full names here, everybody. This might take a minute. The Bowler College of Business at John Carroll University. The Flores MBA program from Louisiana State University, the Fred Keisner Center for Entrepreneurship at Loyola Marymount University, our own Loyola University New Orleans College of Business, go Wolfpack. Go Wolfpack! Right? Yeah, you're right. The College of Business at Southeastern Louisiana University, the Haslam College of Business at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, and the Albert LePage Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation at the Freeman School of Business at Tulane University next door. Right on. Round of applause for them again. So these teams have been in town since Wednesday, or most of them have. And we've gotten to do a lot, well, yeah, we had some travel issues. It's okay, it happens. Hot breaks on airplanes do not work well together. So they've been here the last several days visiting our innovation hotspots around our region, like NASA's Nishu Assembly Facility, the Port of New Orleans, AOS Interiors, the Bioinnovation Center, and a whole lot more. And so now we're going to wrap up their trip by spending the next couple of hours or so, hopefully not a couple of hours, pitching these scale-up strategies that they've developed over the last 2 months with the following 9 companies. And let me click the button. Here we go. In the order that they will be pitched for, we have My Sports Dietitian / Eat to Win Nutrition, founded by Ronnie Harper. Kinks Hair Products, founded by Alana Scott. Bloom, founded by Brandon Harris and Emil Fonseca. The Cosmetology Institute, founded by Lauren Lewis. Ringleader Studios, founded by Mac Allisville. Bombass Fro, founded by Sydney Raymond. Ice Jack, founded by Adam Mefford. Frontline Gig, founded by Dr. Calla Fleming. And Patch Princess, founded by Janice Meredith. Big round of applause for those awesome people. So each team will have 8 minutes to pitch their strategies that they've developed for these companies, and our judges will have a couple of minutes afterwards to ask a few questions. Speaking of our awesome judges in the front row over here, ooh, I'm moving over here now. We have some members of, oh shoot, the button's over here though. I got my photos up here, dang it. This is fun. I haven't done this in a little while. I appreciate you guys. All right, so we have our esteemed judges over here, including Larry Kloss, CEO of Max Home, Louis David, President and CEO of the New Orleans Business Alliance, Eric Delgado, class of 99, co-founder of Izinga, Mary Demoriak, class of 08, CEO of Demoriak. I'm dropping my binder. Brenna Kane, class of 2010, and MBA, class of 18, founder and CEO of Ritually, and also past IDEAcorps participant, also cool. And Philip Lapere, MBA, class of 20, and the director and machine shop technical advisor at Latrim. Big round of applause for our awesome guests. Thank you all so much for being here on Saturday. Thank you all of our friends here for being here today too. After the pitches, we will tally up the scores, and the judges will convene if things are close, and we'll discuss who wins our amazing top prizes today. Speaking of those prizes, there's the button. First place today, the company client will earn $20,000 in cash funding, and the first place MBA team will earn $5,000 for their MBA team. Two runners-up will each, company clients will each earn $2,000, and their accompanying MBA team will earn $1,500. So there's cash money, friends. It's great. It's great. So that's it. That's all the details. I am trying to keep this quick. We want to have, but you're not here to see me. You're here to see all these awesome NBA teams. So, last but not least, we obviously cannot do this program alone and on our own here at the center. So a huge thank you, obviously, to our friends at the Idea Village, Greater New Orleans, Inc., and the New Orleans Business Alliance for all of their amazing help in making this program as awesome as they are. We could not have done that tour on Thursday and Friday without GNO. We could not have done a lot of our company recruiting and our happy hour after this without NOLA BA. And the Idea Village started this whole thing back in 2009, so we're super grateful for them. All right, so I'm going to stop talking, and I would like to invite our first, wait, hold on. There was a thank you slide too. I forgot the button. So that's it. This is the IDEAcorps MBA Consulting Challenge. Got over 30 grand in prizes to give out today. Got the big checks, got the light bulbs, we got the fun stuff. So let's get to that fun stuff. I would now like to welcome our first team of the day. My Sports Dietitian and Eat to Win Nutrition.
Good afternoon. We represent the Haslam College of Business at the University of Tennessee, and we are beyond excited to share with you our experience with our client, My Sports Dietitian. My Sports Dietitian is a company that operates in two specific legs of their operation. On one leg, we have a web-based platform that delivers professional resources to dietitians. On the opposite side, we have a mobile application that delivers nutrition plans to high school athletes. With this current model in place, My Sports Dietitian was able to generate $127,000 in revenue last year. However, with our plans and our proposal, we are confident that My Sports Dietitian will be able to generate a minimum of $1.4 million within the next 18 months alone. To help tell this story and how we're going to get there, we'd first like to introduce you to our friends Tavis and Tasha. Tavis is a registered dietitian that utilizes our professional resources in order to further his professional goals. Tasha is a fitness enthusiast who utilizes our general nutrition plans for her health and wellness journey. Now, the current solution in place satisfies some of these needs, but it doesn't satisfy all of them. For example, Tavis would love to be able to extend his clientele base and perhaps make a little bit more money. Tasha would like something a little bit more personal, so that way she can elevate and get to that next level in her fitness and wellness journey. So how do we get there? Well, Rob's about to tell you.
given this market opportunity, we are excited to announce to you NewFit, a service that marries nutrition professionals and fitness professionals to clients just like Tasha across the country. We are effectively integrating both sides of the My Sports Dietitian business in order to integrate. We are effectively integrating both sides of My Sports Dietitian in order to take advantage of the synergistic opportunities that have always been here. When we think back to Tasha, in the current model, Tasha is only able to receive nutrition programming if she is a high school athlete. Through NewFit, she's able to receive both nutrition and fitness guidance from people like Tavis on to elevate her fitness journey to levels she maybe didn't even realize was possible. For professionals like Tavis, we are able to offer him the chance to interact with clients like Tasha across the country. There are thousands and eventually millions of users in this platform in order to connect with Tavis. So how do we get there? We understand what the model is, and now we need to figure out who we're bringing into this. To reach people like Tasha across the country, we are launching an influencer campaign. The first stage of this, in the early stages, is through opensponsorship.com. Opensponsorship.com offers us the chance to interact with influencers on a contingency basis. This means that we do not incur costs until we've generated revenues. To bring in professionals, we are able to launch a co-partner program. This co-partner program sees My Sports Dietitian interacting with professional organizations across the country. In order to capitalize on this, when our first meeting with My Sports Dietitian, we recommended we partner with the ASCM and the NASM. These are the largest professional organizations in the country for personal trainers. By achieving approved provider status, we will increase the target market size by 1.5 million professionals. To explain how we're going to capitalize and convert consumers like Tasha, I'm going to hand it to Steve.
So the key to conversion is impressions, and the key to impressions is influencers. We've identified 3 influencers across 3 different platforms that align with our clients' goals and values. A world-renowned CrossFit athlete, an elite bodybuilder, and a highly respected athletic trainer. These influencers, along with our remaining target market strategy, will result in 35,000 new customers at the end of 12 months. In order to make this happen, we need to reduce some of the workload from our client. We plan on investing in a drip campaign for our social media, hiring part-time staff for our events, and providing additional incentive for our app development team. So how are we going to pay for all this? At the end of 6 months, our professional resources alone will result in $91,000 in net profit, which is more than enough to cover the cost of initial NewFit development. Now I will pass it off to Seth, who will be talking how our current model compares to this new approach.
So with My Sports Dietitian's current strategy, they will experience marginal growth over the next 18 months. But that's not where our client wants to be. By implementing our proposed strategy in NewFit, we will see aggressive scaling over the course of these 18 months. This will culminate in $1.4 million of revenue with only $320,000 in costs. That is highly efficient spending. Looking over to the earnings over this period, in the first 6 months, you can see that we will accrue the $91,000 that we need in order to cover the initial costs of NewFit. Over the next 6 months, we'll see exponential increase in our earnings. This can be attributed to a fully operating launch of NewFit. In the final 6 months of this 18-month time frame, we will once again almost double our earnings from the previous period. This is by targeted advertising in a much larger market that My Sports Dietitian is now able to operate in. As for our margins across this 18-month period, these will almost double. This is specifically due to the synergizing of the 2 sides of the business that we will achieve through NewFit and by prioritizing revenue growth and controlling costs. Speaking of controlling costs, a big result of this endeavor is by reducing our cost of acquisition drastically. Through NewFit, Customers like Tavis and Tasha will no longer cost as much as they once had. Now, how are we going to measure success throughout this 18-month journey? Rob?
So we have illustrated over the last few minutes exactly how My Sports Dietitian can achieve 10x revenue over the next 18 months. Along this journey, we have equipped them with 3 key performance predictors as guiding measures to know if they're on the path to achieving that revenue goal. But what better indicator that our solution has merit than to announce that Ochsner Orthopedics and the Andrews Institute has agreed to partner with My Sports Dietitian to provide both professional resources and personal solutions to Ochsner's staff and clients. Thank you.
Okay, question time. Brendan, this is kind of your space, yeah? All right.
Great job. I am curious if this, and sorry if I missed it, if the delivery is virtual coaching on both sides, or if there is in-person elements. So are you getting matched with somebody in your area to work out with, or is it all virtual or content-based?
Yes, so the primary delivery vehicle is the website and a mobile app, which services both sides of the business.
Sorry, can you just clarify then? So if you're, so they're accessing their, what's the revenue model then?
So to describe the revenue model, I will hand it off to Corey.
First of all, thank you very much for your question. NewFit essentially functions as an online marketplace or network where we can pair dietitians and personal trainers to clients. So for this, we use 2 different vehicles. We have our application and the website. So let's say you would like to identify a personal trainer that you would like to work with. You can log into either one of these applications and find one that suits your goals within your price range.
Hi, is a contingency basis for influencers a proven model that's already in existence?
Yes, it is. That is through opensponsorships.com.
I'll just do one last question. Good job, guys. It's hard to be first, right? Congrats on being up there. This is super interesting stuff. Like, kind of piggybacking on that last question from influencers. I mean, do you already have like Brooke and Obi in the bag, or are we just saying like potentially a Brooke or potentially an Obi? Are those folks already part of the program, or are you guys just saying those would be kind of the influencers that you'd be going after?
So at the present, they are not a part of our platform. They represent the ideals and the values of our client in terms of healthy living and wellness. And so that is our ideal examples of influencers we want to partner with.
Okay, had to power through the appendix there for a second. Thank you guys. Congratulations for all the hard work you guys did over the last 2 months. That rules. And thank you for going first. I apologize for throwing that on you. That is no fun, as Eric said. So, awesome. Great work. All right, we're going to keep rolling. Up next, we have Loyola University in New Orleans pitching for Kinks hair products.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming here today. This is Team Wolfpack, so the home team here from Loyola University of New Orleans. I have Adele, Tyron, myself with Jordan, and the rest of our team is up here. So we have a broad and diverse team of college athletes who are leaders and champions. And like you judges and rest of our audience members, we have a couple of us are business entrepreneurs in the New Orleans community.
So a little bit about Kinks. Kinks are champions of natural hair confidence, and this was inspired by Elena Scott, the founder's personal hair care journey. And while this product is based here and started here right in New Orleans, we are striving for global brand awareness. So there's a problem, and Kinks is filling that void, a solution for curly, thick, and kinky hair types. There isn't a product like it on the market, and it is a need. And as Loyola University New Orleans MBA strategist, we identified that we needed to create scalable systems and targeted marketing strategies. So a little hair tie anatomy for y'all. A hair tie is used to fasten the hair back away from one's face. No matter how many one seems to buy, they always seem to magically disappear, and their typical lifespan is about 1 to 2 months. The traditional design, the hair doodle, is a one continuous loop, and it easily breaks with thick or curly hair. And as you can see, there is a fasten that hair snags, and it's very uncomfortable. Women with thick or curly hair, you can't use them, period. You try to put them on your hair, and they break immediately. The Kinks innovative design is a detachable design, so it can come apart. This is going to be safe for all hair types, damage-free, and comfortable for all-day wear. We developed a 3-tier strategy focusing on marketing, fulfillment, and operations in order to increase our revenue. As far as marketing goes, we wanted to expand our customer base, and this starts with inclusive branding. This is a mock-up design that I created, and we wanted to involve everyone in this product. Here in Kinks, you might not think that this is for you, but this is for anyone with hair. As far as product placement goes, we think that including Kinks Sports, this could be in gyms, fitness-adjacent areas to engage a new target market. And this could be a product that would be great on end caps and as an impulse buy as you're leaving the store. Maybe this isn't a product that you go out of your way to search for, but upon seeing it, this is filling a need and one would buy it. As far as strategic partnerships, we wanted to start local right here in New Orleans, going for Mardi Gras cruise. We have the Department of Defense for women in the department, women athletes in the NCAA, and women in the service industry.
And a part of our strategy is to implement new technologies. There are 3 key technology areas that we're focusing on. It's a CRM platform. We're recommending HubSpot. For in-house inventory management, we're recommending Notion. It's scalable and easy to use and integrates well with these other systems, as well as implementing Google Data Studio to aggregate all sales and marketing efforts. Our fulfillment strategy is to implement a distribution center. What that does is it offloads the operation, the level of effort and expenses from the in-house business suite that they have currently in Slidell to then a fulfillment center, aiming for about $2 to $3 per order, which is the same amount that the current cost for fulfillment. We'd also implement automations that then allow the system to work behind the scenes without much effort in the in-house operations team. We also want to negotiate a lower cost for supplies, looking at a 5% reduction would then make up for some of the expenses that we'll incur with this strategy. And also, we want to quarterly look at our suppliers, assess if they're meeting our needs, and then hopefully by the end of this strategy, have identified 2 new suppliers. The way the automation will work, a customer places an order on Shopify, TikTok, Instagram. That order is then sent to this fulfillment center. From there, they also have a CRM update, so that market segmentation is happening for the operations team in-house. The order is then shipped to the customer. The shipping carrier then sends tracking information. The customer receives the order, and all this is being done without any manual effort on the Kinks team. Last year, the EBITDA was about $135,000. We got 60% of revenue after operations expenses. And so with our strategy, we want to maintain that same level of margins, but increasing the output. While we were having our first meeting with Elena, actually, there were orders in our first hour meeting. There were probably about 10 orders that were placed. We were real time looking at the website, and you can see someone in Milwaukee bought a hair tie, someone in New Orleans bought a hair tie. And so that level of just 1 hour of sales, we know that one issue that she falls into is that she'll run out of inventory and then have to go on pre-order. By implementing a fulfillment strategy, we can also increase the opportunity that we don't run into running out of inventory. So if we optimize our marketing, focus on SEO, website conversion, and email marketing, lower our EBITDA margins for about 5% so that we can increase revenue, and also improve our operations efficiency by 15% over the course of the strategy. We're looking at an increase in output without an increase in effort. And also by implementing data reporting, dashboards, and adaptive strategy. By using the strategy, it makes it flexible, and she's able to utilize the systems rather than using more people. In 2020, there was $90,000 in revenue. In 2022, there were $90,000 in revenue. In 2023, we're at $225,000, and that's just organic effort. That's organic marketing and organic sales. With this strategy, we project $330,000 in revenue by the end of the year, and $441,000 by the end of 18 months. The strategy does come at a cost. It's about $162,000 total. $20,000 of the marketing budget is still operations. The marketing operations, the cost of labor. The remaining will put toward intentional ads that's using A/B testing and paid advertising on social media platforms. Operations expenses, $25,000. That's the admin assistant that she currently uses in operations. They can then focus on administrative tasks and utilizing the systems rather than actually having to fulfill the orders themselves. The technology systems, that's the CRM system. HubSpot's about $7,000 annually. At this level, it does increase over time, but at the current scale, it would be within the same budget. So to cover the cost of this, we would recommend getting a line of credit for about $60,000 and also investing 25% of net profits every quarter.
Thank y'all so much for coming out.
Great presentation, everybody. Congratulations for doing the program. How does Kinks trademark their product? How do they watch out for other people who may have a similar competing product?
So currently, the way that it's designed is a patented product, and so the hair tie itself does. If I could, I'm going to imitate it, but it's you tie your hair up, and then it clips, and so like that design is her personal design, and so it doesn't come off in the packaging of the hair tie, but that design is patented, and so it just it looks like a hair position hair tie.
Thank you. I heard you mention reducing overall supplier costs. How do you plan on doing that while also maintaining the integrity of the product?
So the goal is to use the suppliers that she does have currently and just negotiate a 5% lower cost, and then through prototyping with those suppliers in the future, finding equal quality at a less expensive rate. And so we haven't identified suppliers just yet, but we just want to negotiate with the ones we currently have.
So how stable is the current design? You just mentioned prototypes. Y'all envision a lot of engineering expense going forward?
So when I mentioned prototypes, I was referring to prototypes from that supplier, but the design is fully finished. You have 3 different sizes. It comes in a 5-inch, a 12-inch, and a 15-inch. And so the only new product that would be introduced in the future would just be a larger size of the same design.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, guys. All right. All right. 2 down, 7 more to go. This is great. Everybody's killing it. This is so much fun. I was talking earlier about how this sort of stuff gets me going. I don't know why. All right, so up next, we have our team pitching for Brandon Harris and Emil Fonseca with Bloom.
past month, we've been working with Brandon and Emil to develop a robust scaling strategy that's going to help Bloom grow its current monthly revenue of $2,400 by 1,800% within the next 18 months. Today, we're going to talk to you about who Bloom is as a company, what problems they're currently facing that's preventing them from scaling where they're at today, and how our proposed strategies specifically address these issues. So, who is Bloom? They're a 2-month-old mobile application that connects venues with performers and facilitates the booking process from beginning to end. After Brandon and Emil onboard both venues and performers, they'll create profiles within the application that allows them to chat with each other, browse booking listings, and even collects the payment process right on the application.
In the first month after launching the Bloom app, Brandon and Emil were able to bring on 5 venues and 27 artists onto the platform. They facilitated 52 bookings, and by charging a 16% fee, they brought in $2,400 of revenue. Today, Brandon and Emil are adding venues onto the app at a rate of 8 per month. And through our target market analysis, we've identified they have the potential to grow to a size of 300 venues in the New Orleans area. However, both of these metrics fall short of where they really need to be for Bloom to truly scale.
To better understand these metrics and how we can help Bloom successfully scale, we conducted an internal SWOT analysis and an industry 5 forces analysis. What we found is that currently Bloom has a strong, well-established network within the local New Orleans area. However, because Brandon and Emil are the only 2 employees and work anywhere from 6 to 12 hours a day, both trying to market to this network and onboard users through manual processes, they're unable to fully utilize this network. When they are able to find interested users who search the internet to find Bloom, their minimal online presence makes it hard to find their app. It should also be noted that venues have a high power in this marketplace and should garner an increased focus. Keeping these analyses and pain points in mind, we've identified the 4 roadblocks to scaling as high cost of acquisition, limited time availability, finite network, and venue bottleneck. To best address these 4 roadblocks to scaling, we created 4 criteria that must be met in order for Bloom to successfully scale. Those criteria include process repeatability, labor efficiency, network expansion, and venue focus. Bringing it all together, we developed a number of potential strategies to help Bloom successfully scale, including venue network expansion into new cities, system implementation to help automate some of their manual processes, hiring a sales team to bring users on board, partnering with influencers online to bring about brand awareness, targeting colleges due to their bar scene and party culture, and hiring an artist and repertoire specialist to bring artists on board. Then, using these 4 criteria to effectively grade each of these 6 strategies, we found the most holistic solution to be a combination of venue network expansion and system implementation.
Combining these 2 strategies, we have developed a 2-phase process that will allow Bloom to scale 1,800% in the next 18 months.
As Dylan mentioned, from our analyses, we found that Bloom relies on a lot of manual processes. So phase 1 aims at eliminating these manual systems and implementing systems so that Brandon and Emil save a lot of time and are able to also stay lean as they scale. We've gotten them on HubSpot, which is a management software that's going to aid in the implementation of these systems, revolving around search engine optimization and customer relationship management. So step 1 was creating a launch page for Bloom to help their customers much more easily be able to find their mobile application. Bloom's been able to actually successfully create and launch this launch page. Next, we're going to focus on improving their social media presence and also launching ad campaigns, and then being able to track the effectiveness of these ad campaigns within HubSpot to be able to continually improve upon. Regarding customer relationship management, Bloom's going to automate their lead generation process, eliminating a lot of the manual processes of searching for venues and artists by being able to use their data analytics from their ads and also various online tools to be able to automatically come up with these leads and have them input as contacts into HubSpot. And lastly, to turn these leads into actual customers, we're going to streamline their user acquisition pipeline. We're going to do this by ensuring that they have a standardized documentation process within HubSpot and also launching automatic email campaigns at certain points of our user acquisition pipeline process.
overall saving Brandon and Emil a lot of valuable time when they're trying to acquire customers.
By automating some of Bloom's key business processes, we're able to decrease the cost of acquisition and increase their venue acquisition rate, allowing them to expand throughout the New Orleans area while we turn our attention to increasing the total size of their target market.
After implementing phase 1, the next step in our scaling strategy involves Bloom moving to new locations. And we have developed a repeatable process that will allow them to effectively capture any new market. The first step of this process involves identifying a viable city that has enough performers and venues for Bloom to move into. Next, they will hire a regional specialist who will identify key venues and negotiate a contract with them to exclusively book all of their future performances through Bloom, which will also allow Bloom to onboard all of those venues' regular performers. Then, with this new network of users, Bloom will have a strong foundation to attract additional venues and performers and ultimately capture the market. And once this is done, they can repeat the process again in a new location. One place that we have specifically identified as being a good spot for Bloom to move into next is Austin, Texas, because of its vibrant music scene and its rapidly growing population.
By bringing Bloom to the Austin, Texas area, we're able to quadruple the size of their potential target market, giving them the opportunity to scale at a rate and magnitude that will leave them successful far into the future. In order to determine whether our solution is feasible, we relied on a financial analysis, which showed us that while Brandon and Emil have already put in the startup funds necessary to get going, they're going to need an additional $18,000 of working capital to remain operational until they can bring in positive cash flows. To do this, we have identified a $10,000 grant called the SKIP grant, and we've actually helped Bloom apply for this. We plan to fund the remainder of this through an SBA loan. By following our strategy, Bloom will be able to increase their EBITDA quarter over quarter until they reach positive cash flow generation in quarter 4 of 2024. They'll actually be able to break even on their initial investment by quarter 3 of 2025. By using our strategy, Bloom will be able to achieve true scaling because we keep their company lean. We allow their costs to remain low while their revenue continues to grow. Our strategy will allow them to give a repeatable process in cities throughout the Southeast area, allowing them to scale throughout the region and beyond.
By implementing systems, we're able to help Bloom triple their venue acquisition rate within New Orleans, and by expanding their network, we're able to quadruple their potential market size, which brings their monthly revenue from $2,400 and increases it by 1,800% within the next 18 months. Thank you, and we'll take any questions you have at this time.
Wow, that was, y'all were super on cadence. I may have missed this, but I just went back to your slides. What's in it for the venue? I mean, I think that's probably the biggest opportunity is to like, I get it, but like from like a venue standpoint, like if I'm a venue owner, like what's in it for me? Like, for me, I would like to see stats on XYZ band coming in. They've done these many shows. They've brought in 150 people. Their bar sales were X. Like that's what matters to venues, right? So I'm curious to know, like, do you have an answer for that?
Yeah. So currently, like if you're on Frenchman Street and you have different artists coming in every night, you have to kind of manage the signing contracts, figuring out who's going to come in when, managing all of these relationships with different artists, whether that's through email, through text. It's a bunch of different platforms. And then you have to manage the payment process. Bloom actually puts this all into one platform, and by integrating Stripe, it makes it very easy to securely pay their artists. And since this is all in one platform, it makes it much more convenient for the venues and actually earns that 16% commission that Bloom takes.
So by creating an application that has everything located in one area, the venues are really able to decrease the amount of time that it takes to facilitate the booking process, which allows them to focus on other areas of their business and also allows them to increase their revenue by bringing people into the venue every night by having performers available, which really sets Bloom up for success in the long term and allows them to acquire more venues and more performers and achieve the scaling that they want.
What would you consider your competitive advantage at this point over the existing process?
I'd say one competitive advantage is just the streamlined process and how quickly Bloom can actually facilitate the meeting new people, new artists, new venues, and going all the way through to the payments page. We're actually at some venues and we're able to meet with managers and see that their calendars are just absolutely filled with different bookings, different artists, and it just gets really, really hectic, and it can take a lot of time trying to figure out that. And so I think their competitive advantage comes in how easy it is to actually work through the app and book artists on an efficient basis.
So by providing an application that puts this all in one place, it takes a lot off of the venue owner's plate so they can focus on other areas of their business and really increase their revenue as well.
I guess I'm just kind of curious about there's, usually in these transactions, there's many different groups or people. So for instance, the managers or the booking, the tour manager versus the artists themselves. So I guess if you could just kind of elaborate a little bit on how that fits in, because it looked like your acquisition was really based on the artist. So is it the artist, is it the tour manager? How do we sort of talk to those different personas?
Yeah, definitely. So right now, Bloom is really focused on the artists because they're kind of looking at this more local band and local artists, and I think that's one of the benefits of a platform like Bloom, is that they can kind of sidestep the need to pay a manager to get involved. Bloom does have plans later on down the line to have a page specifically for managers as they start to target these bigger and bigger acts. But right now, it's working very well, allowing these smaller artists to get into venues and just perform on a Tuesday night.
So up next are our friends from the Cosmetology Institute.
Good afternoon. We're consultants from Southeastern Louisiana University. Over the past 8 weeks, we have worked with the Cosmetology Institute to provide them with an 18-month scale-up strategy. But first, let's meet our team. To my far right, we have Brock Milton, then we have Mason Richard, we have Julia Marcus, we have Emily Witz, and my name is Lucy Wamboa. The Cosmetology Institute is a licensed, approved, and women-owned institution located in the greater New Orleans area. They are dedicated to providing their students with a comprehensive education in cosmetology. Their founder is Lauren Lewis. They offer programs in cosmetology, aesthetics, manicuring and nail care design, blow-dry tech, shampoo tech, and alternative hair design.
During our consultation with Lauren and the Cosmetology Institute, we've been able to identify their primary obstacle as not reaching enrollment goals set forth by the salon's capacity. In response to this, we devised a scale-up plan to improve overall marketing operations and streamline general operations. In response to this, we should expect an overall enrollment growth of 179%, reaching a far over our goal of 50% for our overall growth.
Here we have created a competition comparison chart that lists the key value propositions that the Cosmetology Institute has as opposed to the other schools in the greater New Orleans area. As you can see from the chart, the Cosmetology Institute offers day-night classes and a reduced tuition rate, which we feel are the two distinct competitive advantages that they have against other schools on the market.
From the competition comparison chart, we see that the Cosmetology Institute has a lot to offer. In order to help them reach their enrollment targets, our team curated 3 buyer personas. Our first buyer persona is Carol the Creative, an 18-year-old high school student that is passionate about expressing her creativity through hairstyling and hair artistry. Our second buyer persona is Empowering Evan, who whose personal struggles with acne have needed him to go into a career in aesthetics to help others facing similar challenges. Our third buyer persona is Tamika, the trendsetter, who is a 33-year-old lady passionate about one day starting her mobile hairstyling business. In order for the Cosmetology Institute to showcase their competitive advantage, they're going to have to focus on their value proposition through messaging and using new taglines that we have provided in our branding guide.
During the past 8 weeks, we've surveyed past and present students of the Cosmetology Institute. From these surveys, we found that referrals are the primary factor in driving enrollment. Currently, the CEO, Lauren Lewis, is single-handedly spearheading recruitment efforts. Recognizing that students want a relatable figure, we have implemented a student scholarship ambassador program. In this program, it will offer financial assistance, which they currently is not available, and will aim to engage with students. This program will have specific metrics set in place so that the ambassadors will fulfill their responsibilities accurately. We will have 2 career fairs they will attend, they will run a social media ad campaign, and they will also enroll 5 new enrollees. To ensure that this program is run effectively, we will have Lauren have training and workshops to go over their responsibilities and make sure it is ran smoothly. We also saw in the surveys that social media is another main channel that students reach the Cosmetology Institute. We created 3 different ad campaigns based off of 3 buyer personas that we previously mentioned. Having 3 different ad campaigns will reach specific audiences, which will increase engagement on social media and increase enrollment.
Currently, the Cosmetology Institute isn't utilizing any type of social media management platform. We feel in order to improve their presence on Instagram and Facebook, the Cosmetology Institute should implement Meta Business Suite, which is a free analytical platform that provides the tracking and reporting on how well their social media content is performing. We feel this would be a great use for the Cosmetology Institute, especially in regards to our newly introduced marketing optimization strategy.
While consulting with the Cosmetology Institute, they did undergo a website redesign. Lauren is still committed to maximizing her marketing efforts with our help. Through our suggestions, she has added a call to action urging students to register now and a pop-up for the students to fill out with their information.
Currently in the pop-up, seen on Lauren's website, she's collecting information such as students' age, name, and contact information to further contact them. We suggest that Lauren should undergo a restructure of her application process to collect data similar to the information in a recent survey that we collected. In the survey that our team collected, we collected information such as students' why for joining the Institute. This can help aid Lauren's future marketing efforts to overall increase her efficiency in marketing. Additionally, to track the efficiency of these efforts, we feel as if the Cosmetology Institute should implement a free analytical platform such as Google Analytics to track the efficiency of her newly optimized website. This platform will track things such as exit and click-through rates to ensure her website is being effectively monitored. Through these enhancements, Lauren should expect to far surpass her enrollment goals. Over the past 18 months, Lauren has seen 77 students enroll in her programs. With our newly optimized strategies, Lauren should expect 119 students over the projected 18 months in her programs. This is an overall 54.5% growth rate.
We aim to decrease the customer acquisition costs of the Cosmetology Institute over the next 18 months by reallocating our marketing funds more effectively and placing a greater emphasis on focusing on our ideal customers. As you can see, over the course of from 2022 to 2025, we reduced the customer acquisition cost from $455 to $166 per student. Here we can see the growth in our revenue, expenses, net income, and our EBITDA. We experienced a 73% increase in our revenue with only a 54% increase in our expenses, which led to a 260% increase in our EBITDA and a 179% increase in our net income, which we attribute to our improvements in operation as well as an increase in enrollment. Due to the Cosmetology Institute's low variable cost per student and the increase in enrollment, we expect a 16% increase in profit margin, which we expect to continue to rise until we meet our maximum enrollment.
In summary, our 18-month scale-up strategy for the Cosmetology Institute will be implemented on a monthly basis. Months 1 to 5, we'll optimize our marketing efforts as well as restructure our application process. Months 6 to 10, we're gonna implement our ambassador program and also utilize our revenue. And months 10, 11 to 15, we're gonna use the increased revenue to scale our marketing efforts. And finally, the last 3 months is reaching the 179% growth in revenue.
Thank you. We'd like to now open up with questions.
I bring this up all the time with my businesses and clients. Like, I think you guys, I'm gonna date myself, well not really, but kind of. I love Lucy, conveyor belt chocolates, her, Lucy and Ethel were making chocolates and it gets out of hand, right? Like 1 chocolate, no problem, 2, 10, then she starts eating the chocolate, chocolate's going down her shirt. If you haven't seen the skit, see it. I think you guys, from a marketing standpoint, yes, I mean, in a world where trade schools are just skyrocketing, like it's a big deal now, like getting people into trade schools, I think you're gonna have no problem getting folks to come on board. I think the issue with it, which I don't know if I saw it here, was, and maybe I can ask you guys, like how are you gonna support that? So I'm looking at your growth in EBITDA percentage. I saw a small uptick in costs and expenses. I think that uptick's gonna be a lot larger than that because you're gonna hire people, you need to house these classes. Like, how are you guys thinking through that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, during our consultation with Lauren, that was one of the first questions we asked as well. What does her studio look like? What does her space look like? And Lauren's main issue was not reaching the enrollment goals that she already has in place. So Lauren is equipped to house 20 students per session, which is exactly the target that we're trying to reach. And our numbers actually don't hit the full 20. That's why our margins are continuing to rise. She will eventually reach that full 20, but we have not hit her capacity yet. So currently, as far as her costs go, they're all including the 20 students that she's fully equipped to hold and house and teach. She has teachers that aren't currently being maximized due to her low enrollment.
I was just going to ask, I really liked that slide that you guys pulled up with the comparative analysis to the, similar trainings through like John Jay and other providers. Is that something with the website redesign that's been added for potential new enrollees as they're comparing?
So one thing that we told Lauren to optimize on her website is her main competitive advantage. Obviously, we would never want to put down on any of the schools in the area, but it is very clear that she is the most affordable of the schools. So we've told her in her branding guide and strongly suggest that is something that she hone in on. While there's plenty of other options, as we saw, there's eight schools on our competitive comparison chart. She really needs to hone in on her affordability and the fact of her offerings that are currently offered in order to leverage that comparison, like you said, that she has to offer. Thank you.
All right.
All right, so we're like about halfway there, and everybody has been on time. You guys rule. So cool. All right, so. Good stuff so far. Everybody's killing it. That's 4 out of 9. I would very much like to welcome our next team, who will be pitching on behalf of Ringleader Studios and their founder, Matt Alsfeld, John Carroll University from Cleveland, Ohio.
Who dat? Who dat? It's an awesome honor for us to be here. We're from John Carroll University, the Boulder College of Business in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm Calvin. This is Jake, that's Maddie, that's Matt, and that's Daniela. Today, we get the pleasure of talking about none other than Ringleader Studios. What you see here is probably not the normal thing you've seen. It's actually a tangible product. We're talking about content. And the way it came about what Ringleader Studios is the owner and co-founder, Matt, sitting here is a professional comedy writer. You see him sitting here with Melissa McCarthy. And overarching, the goal is to take this group of professional comedy writers, linking them to influencers that currently on the platform have 13 plus million followers, and taking that, producing high quality content and galvanizing it and connecting it to brands. So Jake, take it away.
Thank you, Calvin. In order to identify the issue at hand, I think the first thing to recognize is that this is a relatively new concept, and in order to get it off the ground, when we were consulting with Mac, the first thing that we discovered was we actually need some revenue, and the revenue that we had brainstormed with him was related to branded content. So something along the lines of advertising shoots, or something like the concept of Good Morning Sunshine, which was with two influencers of Official Home Sweet Home, which is a TikTok brand that has over 1 million followers. So in order to leverage that, we also want to incorporate a brand called Deep Fried Advertising, which is a local New Orleans establishment, which actually gives Mac the ability to partner with these brands such as Dr. Squash, Hello Fresh, and other brands like that to give us these partnerships. And we see with that we can get a lot of brand awareness, and on top of that, get the revenue that we need in order to launch the original content. So in order to dive into the deep fried stuff a little bit more, pass it on to Matt.
Yes, so as Jake mentioned, we recommended that Mac take Ringleader Studios and partner with Deep Fried Advertising to take advantage of their established relationships with over 600 different brands. They would receive 15% commission on these projects, which would allow them to fund the original content down the line, while also growing their individual portfolio that they have right now. That has been a barrier that they've kind of faced right now trying to get investors, is that they don't have enough of a proof of concept to get people to accept these deals. And so this would allow them to build that portfolio and earn them a revenue to where they can support the original content after the 18 months.
All right, so how are we going to scale this? So with the Deep Fried Advertising partnership, we're going to be able to make this branded content that everybody's been talking about. So that's about 10 to 12 projects within the next 18 months. So that looks at 3 or 4 within the first 6 months, 2 or 3 within the first 6 months, 3 or 4 within the next 6 months, and then after that, finishing with 5 or 6 in the last 6 months. So what that's going to allow us to do, along with smaller, single, 30-second commercial shoots or TV spots. So that's on the right there. That's how we're getting more revenue as well. So that comes down to a final EBITDA number of $254,000. As Jake said, right now there isn't any revenue coming in, as they're currently closing in on their first of these branded content deals with a local New Orleans company. So the budget for that is around $125,000, and with the commission that Maddie's talking about, they get about $13,000 in revenue, and between the projects that Mac's looking at doing, it's going to be between $13,000 and $25,000 a project. That's clearly going to be variable because it's commission-based. So if the project is more expensive, they're going to be making more on top of that. And so then the cost of acquisition really is not too much of a concern because they already have the full list of comedy writers and influencers they're going to need. All the production costs are really just a pass-through cost because whichever brand they're currently partnering with within the project is going to be paying for the majority or all of the production costs, if not up front, then at the end. And so then really the only thing they're going to need is some form of small business loan, something like that, to bridge that gap at the beginning to make sure that they can keep the lights on and run the production. As long as they can do that, they'll be able to scale at this rate. And to talk about how we're going to implement some strategies to do that, Gaby's going to take over.
Thank you. So some changes and upgrades that we decided Ringleader should make to scale up their business within 18 months is by partnering with New Orleans celebrities. Luckily, Mac has already established a relationship with them, so we would get them at a discounted price. This would help cut costs about $3,000 or more dollars because this helps with travel, accommodation, and hotels, and cutting that down. So instead of flying in 8 influencers that Mac already has in his back pocket, we could partner with T. Martin and maybe 2 influencers such as Brittany and Michael to go ahead and cut down costs for them. We can also partner with the Wayfinders program at John Crow University. This is an awesome program where students are actually micro interns. They work 20 to 40 hours a week and actually paid through the Wayfinders program. So this is at no cost to Mac at all. This also helps a future goal of his of partnering with Louisiana University's in internship programs as well. We also recommend a call to action button on his website where comedy writers and directors are able to submit their applications, and go ahead and partner with MAC. Same thing with comedic influencers as well. This also helps increase brand awareness and some friendly competition. In addition to that, we recommend submitting the branded content that he would be making with deep fried advertising within reason to the Kinks Film Festival, the ADC Festival, which is the Art Directors Club, and possibly getting that on Hulu through that. Focusing on partnerships with media channels, we decided to show you 2 real examples of their 8-episode series of Morning Sunshine. Brittany and Michael's is at Official Home Sweet Home on YouTube and TikTok. So through that, we averaged out their views, and they would have made $540, and that was in the beginning of March. I'm sure that's increased by now because it's hilarious content. So more views equals more money. In addition to that, on TikTok, we took their top 3 videos, averaged out their views, and they would have made $1,597.37. Once again, more views equals more money within these programs. And if you're worried about TikTok, Instagram has a similar setup as well. And with our influencers that have a 13 million follower reach, they would go ahead and post a co-collaborating post with Ringleader to go ahead and increase that brand awareness as well. And our potential customer pipeline for Ringleader Studios is HelloFresh, Chobani, Liquid Death, Dude Wipes, Poppy, and Dr. Squash. Luckily, Mac is already in contact with Poppy, Liquid Death, and Dr. Squash, so they already have funny content, but we can make it hilarious with Ringleader Studios. Back to you, Calvin.
So, you've heard about Brittany and Michael. Look, this is an actual proof of concept that Ringleader Studios has put together with their rum brand company. So take a look at it. It's a morning show.
Oh, did we get a morning show?
Well, good morning. Please welcome Bono. We're on the hook for 300 episodes.
What a year you guys have had!
Ratings are soaring.
Is this going to be on Hulu?
I currently can't get enough of Corn Kids.
Same.
This is a conversation I would remember. If you said there's going to be like 20 people here with cameras and a producer.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ringleader Studios, and we're welcome to questions.
So congratulations, great presentation. And I may have missed it, but what's the connection with Morning Sunshine and Ringleader? Are you guys suggesting they produce more content like that, or do they have experience producing content like this?
So I can take this one. So that was actually a proof of concept that they kind of did piggybacking off of a previous company that Mac had worked for. So that is the kind of content that they're actually going to be looking to produce through deep fried advertising, a new kind of form of advertising where people don't exactly feel like they're watching a commercial, they feel like they're watching any sort of other kind of funny video they might see on like streaming services, but in a way that is promoting a brand and keeping people engaged.
So the thinking is to start off with deep fried advertising as a partner, to grow income, to then be able to go direct to influencers on platforms, social media platforms?
So I can take this one. So effectively what we want to do is they want to focus on original content. That's where they want to be at. So they don't necessarily want to end up making stuff like this all the time. So this is to keep the lights on, and it's a new way of advertising. Like Maddie said, effectively getting you to think like you're just watching a television show when in reality you're watching, an ad for a rum company. So doing that, it's a way to keep the lights on, and then eventually they will move to funny original content as the full driver of the business as a whole.
Who does the funny original, eventually up and going 18 months, who does the funny original content, who is the actual purchaser of that?
So that's anything like Hulu, Netflix, like that's who you would be pitching it to. So you would be making television shows, stuff like that, shorter content like this is.
And I can add on to that. So this is also a way to bridge the gap between influencers who right now, many of the influencers that Mac's working with are currently actually unemployed. As much as they have this following, they aren't actually making any money through it. So this is also a way to get them this exposure with actually producing real content that you might see on TV or something like that, to where those people and those brands and their image can then be pitched to Hulu or Netflix or something like that down the line. So it's also just creating the brand awareness, so then that can grow into something bigger and directly funneling those brands and shows into something bigger.
One quick question. You mentioned that you're working with a an initial potential customer? And what do you see as the major challenges to deliver a finished product at a reasonable at the cost?
So that's kind of the bonus of working with deep fried advertising. They cover all the production costs and we just receive a commission from it. So it allows us to create these productions without having to worry about as much of the upfront cost, but allow us to, again, build that portfolio. The deal's pretty close to closing. It's going pretty well right now.
All right. Well, we swap out some batteries in a mic real quick. I just want to say a huge thank you to all these teams that are here today. This is like maybe another round of applause for all these awesome people here. They have traveled from far and wide. We got teams all the way from California and from Cleveland and from, well, our next team is from just down the road. They are from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, pitching for Sydney Raymond and Bombass Fro. Please welcome Louisiana State University.
All right, good afternoon. Thank y'all for coming here. My name is Mackenzie, and I'm joined today with Philip, Gage, and Ian, and we are from the LSU Lory's MBA program. Over the past 6 weeks, we've had the pleasure of working with Sydney Raymond and Bombass Fro. Sydney has had naturally curly hair for over 15 years and sought out to create a product that both combats the time and cost-intensive reality Black women face when it comes to their hair. Hair is a significant identifier for the Black community and means a lot to their identity. So it is no shock that they spend over $3 billion a year on ethnic hair products. Sydney, in partnership with a chemist, came up with a proprietary formula, and thus the curl-defining hair jelly was born. This is how Bombass Fro currently stacks up to their competitors. To date, Bombass Fro has spent $0 on marketing. She's been able to leverage earned media and free promotion through influencers.
Yes, as Mackenzie stated, Bombass Fro has spent $0 in marketing so far, and this is because our founder, Sydney, is very cost-effective in her focusment. The product is currently cost $19.99, and it costs her $5.95 to produce up to 5,000 units. This has resulted in an impressive 70% profit margin thus far.
However, currently we are facing one primary obstacle, which is declining sales. This obstacle has 4 primary components: inventory management, lost customers, decreasing marketing efforts, and multiple products to stock. The supply chain element of this obstacle is illustrated with the generic supply chain chart above. The issues that we are currently facing are within the manufacturing and warehouse and distribution aspects of this supply chain. In the manufacturing element, currently we are unable to efficiently forecast demand, and thus we are facing stockout and long-term fulfillment issues. As for the warehouse and distribution component, Sydney spends a lot of time manually fulfilling these orders, and that takes away from her expertise, which is the marketing of the product. This graph below perfectly illustrates these issues, which is that after following periods of heightened demand, which has happened consistently, followed by periods of stockouts and long-term fulfillment issues that lead to less possible sales for the company. Our objective in our long-term scaling strategy is to regain lost customers and to increase our profits and margins.
Yes, so one of the first things we plan to do is we talked with Sydney's manufacturers, and we were able to get her product at a bulk price when ordering over 5,000 units. With the new bulk price, her cost per unit drops to $4.59, thus increasing her profit margin to 77% and saving her roughly $7,000 per order.
Here,
we will outline our holistic short-term scaling strategy. The first component of this scaling strategy is a statement to customers. In our research, we found a very comparable example in Graza, which provides a very high-quality product to their customers. However, early on in their startup stage, they found themselves with issues in long-term fulfillment and in their operations performance. Sydney sees a lot of these same issues, and Graza was able to get a lot of benefit after issuing a statement to their customers, and we believe that Sydney could see the same benefit as well.
This past November, Bombass Fro introduced a conditioner to their product line. Thus far, sales have been underwhelming and the margins are lower. Because of this, we've decided to move to a single product commerce model in the short term to focus on building product fulfillment and Bombass Fro's flagship product, the curl defining hair jelly. This graph shows conditioner sales as a percentage of total unit sales since launch. And given this trend and capital constraints that the business is faced with, we've decided it would be better to funnel resources to the main product.
Yes, this graph behind me is Sydney's customer loyalty rate. Despite overall sales decreasing over the last 3 years, our customer base has grown significantly. And that just proves to us that we should implement a subscription-based model. This subscription-based model will be critical for successful scaling of her company, as it will provide her customers a guarantee that she will be able to have their product for them month over month, and it will also provide her with increased forecasting and order quantities. As you can see, we did some financial projections, and we believe that 30 customers will initially sign up for the program, offering Sydney $600 a month in consistent sales. We project that Sydney will be able to grow her customer base by 10% per month over the 18 months, and end with roughly $3,000 in consistent monthly sales and over 150 customers signed up in the program.
With that, we are recommending the implementation of NetSuite and third-party logistics, or 3PL. These two services will offer you inventory and order management, financial and accounting assistance, supply chain management, and warehouse and fulfillment services. NetSuite will help automate and forecast, while 3PL will help fulfill these orders and ensuring that this is an integrated process. Looking forward, we move towards our long-term scaling strategy. Although admirable, Sydney has not spent any money on marketing thus far. It is sporadic and we have fizzled out. With an allocated marketing budget, we are able to send Sydney to trade shows such as Essence Festival right here in New Orleans, increase her social media presence on TikTok and Instagram, and launch a community outreach initiative, Cocktails and Curls, to help educate the Black women of New Orleans on hair care.
Going forward, we intend to expand the Bombass team, but in the short term, the integration of NetSuite delays the need to hire full-time staff now. In the long term, we plan to implement an internship program with local universities as a way to give back to the New Orleans community and to get Sydney help. We also intend to hire an operations manager to help facilitate our expanding product line. In the short term, we intend to begin R&D on a shampoo, and when it is done, we will relaunch the conditioner and shampoo as complementary products. We believe that these three complementary products will offer a customizable and unique subscription model for our customers. This table shows the 18-month projected finances for this project. It shows increasing sales over $170,000 and EBITDA increasing to over $80,000. This project will be revenue funded, but we have identified grants for additional funding if needed.
Behind me, you can see our timeline for the next 18 months. In the beginning, we will have to enter growth stage since Sydney has not spent any money on marketing thus far, so scaling right now would be impossible. Initially, our COAs will raise because of this, but as we continue to implement our scaling, classic economies of scale will take place, lowering our costs and increasing our revenue, therefore increasing our profits. Thank you. We will now be taking questions.
So I'm looking at this timeline, and statement to customers is pretty much saying, you know what, we're sorry, delays, all that stuff, right? But then you jump right into increasing local marketing efforts. I really think you guys, it's more a statement than a question, the whole 3PL NetSuite, I mean, I think that should be further, that should be ahead of marketing efforts, because look, at the end of the day, it's like chicken and egg, right? Like, it's awesome to increase your customer base, awesome to market, but if you can't fulfill, then what happens, right? And so I think, back to that whole Lucy analogy I said before, that's where we are. I mean, I think you guys are onto something. I love seeing this. I think it's great. But I do think that, again, not a question, more of a statement. The integrating of NetSuite and 3PL, or something like NetSuite and 3PL, so that you can actually fulfill orders quicker for more customer satisfaction. I think that's where a lot of the stuff should be focused on. So again, statement, not question.
Thank you.
Congrats again, really thorough. How do you find the right supplier? Is the, have y'all done any research into that and how to make sure that, is it, I guess the warehousing and fulfillment, or is it a supplier issue?
So, for clarification, are you talking about her current supplier with the product? Okay, understood. So she does have a relationship, and we did explore other options, moving to different suppliers, given that we couldn't meet the demand at the time. But our owner, Sydney, has a good relationship with them and was not willing to move away.
And also, the manufacturer is able to meet our production needs. The biggest issue we were having was forecasting efficient quantities to order, and that was leading to stockouts or excess supply at times. And the purpose of NetSuite and the 3PL is to smooth the sort of bullwhip effect between all of the different aspects of the supply chain.
I love the idea of instituting a subscription model for more consistent revenue. I know this is not an immediate thing that was on your list of revenue drivers, but in the long term, has she considered doing direct wholesale distribution? Or is it not? Is it too early?
Yes, so she currently has just started a slight wholesaling product going with local salons, and she sells them at a 35% discount, and she recommends they sell it for $25.
Rocking and rolling. You guys rule. This is so much fun. I would like to welcome our next team to the stage already, killing it on time. The University of Florida and their company client, IceJack.
Hi everyone, we're Team IceJack from the University of Florida. So what is an IceJack? IceJack is a device that rapidly chills your drink in about 2 minutes. Just to give a little facts and figures here, you need 2/3 less the amount of ice you would need, which results in a 14-pound of ice savings to chill a classic 24 pack of beer. If the retail price is about $40, and in that 2 minutes, it's dropping your drink by 30 degrees. Let's meet the team. The team is diverse and robust, coming from a lot of engineering backgrounds, but also business, whether it be marketing and sales, operations, and finance as well. Led by Adam Memper, Adam came to us with a few questions. Here's the situation. 2 main challenges. First and foremost, $300 acquisition cost, way too high. Secondly, he was concerned about his brand. It was a bit ambiguous, he didn't identify, didn't know what the target market should be. These became our following goals. 1, let's identify a target market. 2, let's get in that 100,000 units in sales in 18 months. And 3, we believe in traditional retail, we need to get IceJack into physical stores. Our timeline recommendation is as follows. For For the first 6 months, we need to focus on social media. We need to do this huge push, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, we need to get a base of customers. Secondly, as we begin to transition from month 7 to 13, it's going to be crowdfunding. Now that we have a base of customers that love IceJack, we want to invite them into the fold. It's one thing to say, hey, just use our product. It's a whole other thing to say, what other products do you want? We're going to do this through crowdfunding and mainly using Indiegogo. Lastly, it's that traditional retail space. We want to go into REI, Cabela's, or Bass Pro Shop. We believe in the groups and the quantities. But before we can even talk about this, we have to first address a critical question. Who is the customer? Why do they need it? So who needs the IceJack and why do they need it? We decided to evaluate a few areas. First and foremost, we wanted them to have a need of portability. Secondly, they had a weight constraint. And lastly, they had income levels of over $100,000. Golfers, over $100,000 income, need a portability, but maybe they don't have a weight constraint. I don't know about you, I'm not walking the course. All right? Secondly, we're part of the University of Florida. We are tailgaters, it's in our blood. Once again, weight constraint, need a portability. Maybe that 100,000, hopefully it's creeping up, but not yet. Lastly, we decided to look at the outdoor adventurer. The outdoor adventurer has all three components: a need of portability, a weight constraint, and has $100,000 worth of income. This became our target audience. When looking at the total market, we said there was 168 million outdoor enthusiasts worldwide. They would spend about $400 per year. This is representative of 64% premium. When you go and buy things, they're not afraid of spending more money for quality items. Really important to us. And lastly, the outdoor gear market is about $25 billion annually worldwide. We decided to conduct a survey of 2,500 rock climbers. 67% said, I want an IceJack. But we took that one step further. If they're going climbing outside, who has done that in the past year, and who has a trip this coming year? Of the respondents, 90% said they need an IceJack. That pain point is alleviated immediately.
So once we identified our target market, it was time to figure out where we were going to go and meet them. And so we put together a digital marketing plan with Adam and how they were going to reallocate their current marketing budget and start spending it in a more efficient manner. And so they're currently on the Meta platforms, Instagram and Facebook. And we went and looked at the top 100 climbing groups and pages across the two platforms and found that there's a 31 million audience that we could reach. By doing more focused content on those platforms that are more adventure-based, we see an ROI, or expect an ROI of 4%. But we're going to take it a step further. We're going to go on YouTube and start doing short-form videos that can go across the platforms. Do a Chillin' with Captain Jack, which is more like a Hot Ones series. And then we're going to advertise through Outside Magazine and Climbing Magazine. Short-form video has an expected lift of 2.5 times, a 10% ROI, and then by going to those magazines, we'll reach the additional 3 million people.
So let's talk a little bit how crowdfunding takes us into the future for IceJack. What we found in our research is that the average crowdfunding donor is almost identical to the IceJack outdoor person. So they're male and they're between the ages of 25 and 35. And one other thing that we saw was as we create those short-term form videos, we're able to leverage them to create a 2 times higher success rate in a crowdfunding campaign, as well as leverage the robust team that IceJack already has, which improves success rates up to 80%. Then we go into the future. So what successful scaling really looks like in this space is it allows us to create more SKUs that allow us to then hit into those the REI future. And that will create more brand loyalty as well as develop the people behind it.
So once we've gone through this crowdfunding, once we've built out the client base, people who want this IceJack, people who have that pain right now, and we've diversified our product line with the new products by inviting the people in to help us develop the future of IceJack, it's time to go into retail. So we want to get into these brick and mortar stores, but we have to figure out where do we start, because we can't just go into every store day one. And so we looked at some research on the outdoor retail market, and what we found is that customers typically spend $50 to $100 every time they go to the store. But we're targeting that higher end, so we looked at the higher end stores. Where do people spend more money? We want to step further. Where do the people who spend the most money go? The way that the industry targets this, or explains this, is the ticket over $200. That's how they calculate the premium spenders. What we found is that REI is among the highest average spend, but when you look at big spenders, REI is at the top. That is where climbers, outdoor enthusiasts go to get good quality premium gear. That's where we want to put IceJack. So then what's our path into REI? Well, it's the REI Path Ahead Ventures program, which is a program that REI puts on to increase diversity within the outdoor gear industry.
What we want to do is we want to tap into that $30 million investment fund where REI makes $100,000 investments into early stage companies, but we need to meet their criteria. IceJack already has that diverse management team. They've already got that product for the outdoor market. What we're missing right now is we're missing the established revenue and product line. But that's where our social media targeted marketing, and the crowdfunding gets us to, so that we can get into this program with REI. But there's more. Because REI is not the only place where IceJack can find funding to continue to scale, build out their product line, and increase manufacturing. We identified 6 other grant possibilities that add up to a total of $200,000 in additional funding that IceJack can use to continue to scale.
So while I said that we were going to reallocate a lot of the marketing budget, we're also going to take those funding sources to fund what our initiatives are, because it's going to take a heavy lift in marketing to get us where we want to go. So if we look at our projections here, over the first 6 months, that's where our heavy marketing push is. Our customer acquisition cost right now is $300. For a $40 retail product, that's never going to work for a scale-up strategy. So what we've done is we've tailored in heavy marketing spend in the first 6 months so that we can build a customer base. And we've been able to lower over the first 6 months that customer acquisition cost to $9.40. The next 6 months when we introduce crowdfunding is when we start to see a bigger lift, and we'll get into the black at a $22,000 EBITDA in month 12. And then over the final 18 months, when that groundswell really happens and we have additional SKUs, we'll get to see margins increase, and we'll produce a higher EBITDA and a cost of acquisition of $4.04. When we bring this all together, we have an overall customer acquisition cost of $5.64, EBITDA growth of 415%, and when we put all of our strategies together, the most important thing is cost reduction of 98%. Thank you. We'll take any questions.
We're always ready for questions. We brought some product with us. We just want to spit it in real time for you. I think the best way of doing it is, ironically, make sure this isn't gold, right? Not gold? All right, perfect. Everybody's trusting this judgment? Okay.
While y'all spin, and congratulations, what other products? REI requires you to have multiple products. What kind of products are you looking at exploring?
Yes, we talked with Adam a lot about that, and aside from the general like IceJack branded clothing and apparel and things like that, yeah, David brought his hat with him. They're working on IceJack coolers that will have an actual attachment where the IceJack goes in vertically, and so it's more of a lunchbox size. And they're also working on like thermoses and canteens and things that will be all IceJack related and work well with the spinning device.
So this is more just a practical question for use. I'm assuming this has been tested on all like carbonated beverages, no spillage issues after the fact? Okay. Just curious.
It doesn't go flat. Because of the way that the centrifugal force works, it actually retains all the carbonation. It retains everything that you want in your beverage. It just makes it colder quickly.
Yeah, we tested that ourselves when the product arrived on our doorstep, and it was like, okay, well, it actually works the way it was described.
We did a good amount of testing. Yeah, be sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. Thank you.
So what, this is cool. What does it cost to, like, what does it cost to make? And what am I buying this for at retail?
So currently it costs $16 to make, and that's just a per unit cost. We have units that we've already purchased, and then in theory, in the future, we will be able to purchase larger, which could drive that down as low as what we've heard is bulk. And it costs $40 to purchase in school.
All right, I think this is cool.
I'm gonna need one of those IceJacks after today. Who's got my clicker? Somebody's got my button. Who's got my button? Thank you. Appendix. This guy, quite the appendix there. Okay, great. Awesome. Okay, so we got 2 left. Thankfully, it's been a long day. We're all ready to roll. We get happy hour upstairs, which is IceJacks might come in handy later on. But we've got 2 more teams left, and up next, as I said, we have teams from all over the country, as far as California and Cleveland and Alabama and Tennessee and Florida. We also have some teams from right across the street. So up next are our friends from Tulane, pitching for Dr. Kyle Fleming and Frontline Gig. Thanks.
Hello everyone, we are Frontline and we're an AI-driven staffing platform that connects untapped talent to the green economy. Our founder is Dr. Kyle Fleming, my name is Janine Padette, this is Gidgana, and the rest of our team is on the slide. We met Frontline at a crossroad. They were transitioning from being a TaskRabbit for jobs to now supporting employers with talent assessments and preparation. As a part of that, they were launching their new Green Jobs Readiness chatbot to support career awareness and get more quantitative assessments for employers. Our goal over the next 6 months is to gain traction with one new customer segment where we're using our Green Jobs Readiness chatbot to lean into our value proposition where we help employers achieve 10 times their reach and 10 times their upskilling speed. In order to do this, we plan to target community colleges right here in New Orleans, and this traction is what will get us investor ready for a $1 million pre-seed raise in Q3. Climate is a $3 trillion opportunity, and with that comes new jobs and people that are interested in changing their careers. Our government and companies are already making big investments in climate, and we want to be there to catch that ball. We went ahead and interviewed some major utility companies in the area, and we asked them, where are we headed in terms of renewable energy? And they said, we're headed green, and that every day they're coming up with something new to minimize our carbon footprint. We're talking about jobs in solar, hydrogen, nuclear, battery storage. Who does these jobs and who's going to be there to fill them when new ones come down the pike? 2 new nuclear plants will be opening up within the next 2 years in the region, and that's going to require 800 new jobs. The Inflation Reduction Act have incentivized companies to act in ways that are environmentally forward, and we project that 9 million new jobs will be created over the next 10 years. We are already well positioned for this opportunity. We engage untapped talent in the market through our AI-driven staffing platform, first through gig work, and then we track, assess, and give them career navigation guidance. I'd like to go ahead and introduce you to somebody who's really thrived on our platform. This is Darnell, and before coming to Frontline, he was filling small menial jobs like mowing grass and fixing people's cars. Fast forward to today, he's now leading his own gig crews, he's attending community college, and he's on track to start running his own landscaping company. You guys might be wondering, how did this all happen with just gig work? Well, his high talent assessments on our platform enabled him to gain access to our paid training program in DC, paid training infrastructure green program, and then we connected him to a community college where he got a scholarship for horticulture. If it weren't for Frontline, Darnell would have never considered a career in this area. There are millions of Darnells out there, and some of them are right here in New Orleans. 8% of our population are gig workers, and over 50,000 are already enrolled in community colleges. We can meet the demand of the $3 trillion opportunity, the $3 trillion climate opportunity with this kind of untapped potential. And community colleges are central to this scaling strategy. In our partnerships with community colleges, we want to co-create accessible training programs that reflect the needs of our future industry. While they do already have degree programs, that don't have hourly, self-paced offerings that provide immediate credentialing. What we want to do is refresh the relationship between industry opportunity providers and community colleges while having a finger on the pulse of our students through our AI-driven technology. And now I'll pass it off to Kyokna to walk you through the financials.
Our revenue is two-tiered. From the community colleges, we would receive a subscription fee for the AI chatbot, which would help match the students to gig opportunities and also for providing them training content. We are planning to engage 10% of community college student population. Opportunity providers would be charged 30% markup on the gig worker contract and $600 placement fee, with an aim to convert 10% of gig workers into full-time workers. From a partnership with the community colleges, we expect our revenues to grow 13 times over the next 12 months with $2 million in revenue, and by the end of 3 years, we expect our revenues to be over $8 million. We are looking to start with 30 opportunity providers initially and 6 community colleges in the first half of the year and expand over the next few years. With growing revenues, we expect costs to increase as well. Our key costs include cost of sales team, technology and partnership costs, and cost of developing the trainings. To talk about the profitability, we expect our EBITDA to grow 6.5 times over the next year, and by the end of 3 years, we expect it to be profitable by $6.7 million. Based on the new revenue model and the new customer segment, our total addressable market will go up to $6.2 billion, leading to an increase of 4 times in our serviceable obtainable market to $1.6 billion. Some of the changes that we are proposing to Frontline are, in order to implement the scaling strategy, Frontline needs to update its technology to enable student training on their platform, engage in extensive SEO and digital marketing. Campus activation will become a big part of our brand and our spend. We are also looking to hire more people in the partnership, sales, and technology teams. Now I'm going to hand it over to Janine to talk about traction.
The things that we've done so far in the DMV area have worked tremendously well for us. We've engaged over 1,000 users like Darnell, and over 100 partnerships have either come on board or are in the pipeline. But climate change isn't just happening in the DMV area. It's happening right here in New Orleans, and we're reminded of it every single time it rains for more than an hour, and every time we need to evacuate for one of our hurricanes. We need to scale up and expand in order to build more resilient communities, and we're asking for your help to build this operation and win. Thank you so much for your time, and we welcome any questions you might have.
I hear you. Just to clarify the kind of question there, it seems like you've kind of got a three-sided marketplace or sort of idea. I just want to clarify.
That's pretty correct.
The employers, the college universities, and then the ultimate gig workers.
Yeah.
And your students. So can you just clarify within that sort of triangle who the payer, who the buyers are, and kind of how you're really thinking about how you acquire those? That kind of just to kind of put
So we would start off by acquiring the community colleges, and in terms of payers, it would be a combination of the opportunity providers and the community colleges. Whoever's paying for this program, because the real product is the training programs, we want to work in tandem with the community colleges and industry to make sure whatever that training program is, it reflects the needs of the industry. They are going to be a part of the payment process.
Okay. Can you just speak, sorry,
steal another one. I guess just in that way, then can you just speak to a little bit about what department within the universities? Because as you may or may not know from diving into this sphere, that that sales cycle can be quite long and quite hard to find who and what budget that will come from. So can you just speak a little bit about that?
It would be in the Career Center. Does that answer your question?
That works, yeah.
Okay. Then I have one.
Please, sure.
Yes, like right now in housing, right? Like there's a shortage of housing, right? And there's a lot of people coming into the U.S. and so there's a lot of talk about how do you marry housing. So like is this like version .1, like going to universities and doing stuff, green work, but could it also be expanded across other industries like home building, stuff like that?
Yes, because the real product that we're selling is our AI technology that engages with people. And we operate only within the green space, but you could extrapolate this technology out and work in other spaces if you wanted. We have just been focusing in the green area, but yes, you could go to a different industry.
Oh my God, we're on our last one. Yes. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys all for being here today. This is really great. This year I was actually really excited to have 2 Jesuit universities be a part of this program. Loyola here is a Jesuit university. I am an alum. Go Wolfpack. Yeah, you're right. And so I was really excited to have our Loyola from out west join us this year. So please welcome our last pitch for today, Loyola Marymount University pitching for Janice Meredith and Pat Princess.
All right. Hello, everybody. So it's our last day in New Orleans. We've met a lot of amazing entrepreneurs. We want to introduce you to just one more. She's the one who stole our hearts, Janice Meredith. She's an amazing entrepreneur from New Orleans. She actually recently just bought a historic theater. She's going to create a space for other entrepreneurs to come, make their own creative businesses. She lives and breathes the spirit of the city. So we're really excited to talk to you about her current business today, which is Patch Princess. It's a company that originally started to make jobs for the youth in our community. It's blossomed into a high-quality patch service that you can put on your own clothes, you can start your own clothing business, you can get some snazzy ones for your jackets like we have up here, if you're an organization. So when we asked her originally what she wanted for her business, first one was growth, of course, and with that comes growth in the community. She wanted to shift away from the day-to-day, she wanted to maintain full ownership, and eventually go into retail. We knew there was some work to be done before we eventually go into retail, so that's our presentation today, is our pre-retail fortification and growth plan. It's going to prepare her for that transition eventually, and it's going to grow revenue and profits in the process. So it's a 3-step plan, but before we fully get into it, a little overview of the business itself. The core audience here is the crafters who are using this to make their own clothing, but the interesting growth audience is the organizations. They only make up 20% of sales now, but we believe it can be a great growth audience for 2 reasons. Number one, the order price is much higher by hundreds for an organization. So any account that's won is a lot more valuable to the business. Number two, the crafters are very organically coming back to the business. They're super loyal. So she can shift her effort towards growing the organizations more sustainably and predictably in the future. So we'll start with step number 1, which is defining the branding and the consumer experience of Patch Princess.
So during our initial conversations with Janice, we really wanted to gain a deep understanding of what the customer experience is like. Through some information that we gathered, we were able to portray this character as Sarah Smith, a 35-year-old New Orleans mom who is also a basketball mom. Sarah's journey begins with her discovering Patch Princess through an Instagram-boosted advertisement. From here, she really likes the patch design and quality, so she decides to proceed to the website. After spending some time looking through the variety of options available, she does settle on a basketball-themed patch that she really loves. She purchases it, waits 1 week for it to arrive, and gets started making her own custom apparel piece. Fast forward, she shows it off to the other parents on her son's basketball team, and many of them do return to Patch Princess to place additional orders. So it's clear that Janice has a great understanding of her customer experience. However, we do feel that this experience can be better understood through the use of analytics. The snippet you'll see on screen is from a SQL query that was actually built out by one of our teammates, and its purpose is to track a variety of website performance metrics. Overall, we do feel that this is a great tool for Janice to help her better understand her customer experience.
So the second barrier that we identified pertains to her current website. And as you can see on the screen, her current website, the product pages are overwhelmed. There's an unclear customer journey, and key features of her business, such as her custom and her bulk ordering options, are either hidden or missing. With this, we engaged in a full website redesign to really strengthen her online presence. We built out those product collections, we put in compelling and cohesive imagery, and we highlighted those key features that drive her business. In addition to this, we also created a new brand book for Patch Princess to really strengthen her brand identity. Specifically, it builds out her brand purpose through her mission and vision. It highlights those key components of her business and her differentiators, and it outlines best practices for imagery and messaging moving forward. So now that we've defined all these key and crucial aspects of her business, we wanted to focus on how we could strengthen and fortify her systems to be able to effectively scale in the future. And the first thing with this that we wanted to tackle was her current production process of hand cutting each individual patch. This is an incredibly time-intensive process that not only increases their turnaround time, but it also causes them to reach their production capacity, turning down additional orders and forfeiting those sales. So our goal here was to find a machine that could effectively cut these patches and decrease that production time. And after speaking with several sales representatives, we were able to identify the X-Tool P2 laser cutter as the piece of equipment that would most effectively align with her current technology and infrastructure. At $4,200 or financed for $212 a month over the course of the next 20 months, this would be able to shift her production capacity from 500 patches every day to potentially over 5,000. And in terms of her sales capacity, she can see a shift from $24,000 a month to being able to handle around $230,000 a month.
So an additional way that the X-Tool can help Janice's operation is by really allowing her to fortify her team structure. Currently, as it stands, Janice is heavily involved in nearly every aspect of the production process, from the initial sales and engagement phase all the way until the final fulfillment stage. Additionally, it is kind of an all-hands-on-deck operation once we get to the patch prep and cutting stages specifically. The addition of the X-Tool into the mix will not only allow Janice's employees to have more focused roles within the operations, but it will also allow Janice to kind of take a step back from the day-to-day operation and focus on what she does best, which are the sales and engagement, community engagement, and design aspects.
All right, so now that we've fortified, it's time to start scaling. We're going to start with marketing and sales. The current way she's bringing in a lot of her customers is through organic social, but when she does do paid social, it has a great return. The average customer acquisition is $26, and the return on that for the average order value is over 7 times that. So this relationship that she has with her customers is something we really wanted to keep paramount to the marketing plan moving forward. That's why you'll see a lot of social on that screen, including the distribution. We're suggesting including TikTok Shop and Instagram Shop to leverage the platforms that she's doing so well already. We're going to have paid influencers who are going to continue to tell that story, and we're going to have loyalty groups so she can talk to the organizations one-on-one and give them regular discounts. Finally, a CRM will help to organize all this together to make sure that she is growing this organizational outreach sustainably for the future.
To visualize our potential growth, we've compared our projections to our 2023 financial statements. So first, by implementing some of the website recommendations that we've made, we believe she can see an immediate year-over-year sales increase of 20%. However, the key thing here is that it's not about how much she's making, but how much she's actually keeping. So we think in the next 3 months, she can easily see her pre-tax profits increasing by 200 to 300%. Next, by taking Janice out of the day-to-day operations, allowing her to focus on the sales and that community engagement, we believe her sales can now increase year over year by 30 to 50%, again, with incredible increases in profit. Next, and finally, with redefined best practices, fortified business operations, and a data-driven marketing strategy, we see 2025 being a year of remarkable growth and scale. This will take Patch Princess from generating $17,000 in pre-tax profit in a 12-month period to nearly $200,000. Over the next 18 months, we see Janice generating well over $500,000 in sales, nearly $250,000 in pre-tax profits. And what this means for Janice and Patch Princess is greater take-home profits, an improved work-life balance, the ability to grow and scale her team,
and the increased bandwidth and capacity to pursue her goal of making patch prints a household name by getting her most popular products into craft retail stores across the country. It's been a pleasure working with Janice over the past 6 weeks. This week we got to visit her shop, and we really saw the love and passion she has for her family, her team, and her community. She even took the time out of her busy schedule to make us these amazing patches. She had multiple machines running at the same time, stopped production, made us these patches, which we're definitely going to use at graduation, and we're very excited for that. Again, my name is Jose Garcia. This is my colleague John, Christian, and Estelle, and we're very thankful to be a part of this journey with her.
Oh, and also quickly before questions, if you want a patch, QR code right there, feel free to check it out. Fantastic.
Thank y'all, amazing presentation. Does the owner have the money to invest, at the funding point, where do you see the opportunity for increasing funding and investment into the company?
Well, the first investment that we highly recommend she makes is in that machinery. Thankfully, because there's a financing option, she's more than capable of cash flowing it immediately. Again, we've made recommendations around marketing. We have a very thorough marketing strategy in terms of how much more can she spend each month, what our projected customer acquisition cost is going to be within those timelines. But we've set it up in a way where she can do it organically, naturally, without having to take on debt, without having to take on investment that removes equity from her company. However, if she's able to get $20,000, she can definitely expedite that and see growth much faster than what we projected.
So I was going to ask, is it just the patches that she's selling, or would she also do like customized brand apparel with the patches already done? Because I'm just thinking about, with my schedule, I'm not likely to just buy a patch and do it myself, but if someone would do it for me, that would make my life easier. So I'm wondering if she's set up for that.
Yeah, definitely both. The majority of the sales are the patches themselves, if you want to put them on your own clothing, but she has a supplier as well for the clothing itself. For organization, she also does the designing, so you can meet with her, have an idea and a vision, and she'll actually execute that and do the design itself. So yeah, very hands-off for the customer, but if they want to be in the crafting element of it, you can definitely do it yourself too.
Is the competitive advantage through the technology, or is it just being able to have fast throughput and respond to customers?
So with Janice's specific product, she finds her competitive advantage by using the bling material spangles, as opposed to several of her competitors who use rhinestones, which can be harmful for both the user and the environment. In terms of her business, however, we believe that Janice finds her competitive advantage in her ability to build these really meaningful and long-lasting relationships with her customers and the creators that she works with, as well as her unique eye for creativity and design and her ability to have that translate into her product offerings.
Great job.
Okay, hey, cool, we're done. All right. So great, actually, huge round of applause to all 9 of our team. You guys, I'm blown away. Truly, for those who don't know, I have managed all these things, and I have seen all of these decks from like the first version of them that came by at the end of February, and whew, so you guys are killing it. And my alarm is going off for the questions, and I'm going to push the button. Elizabeth's got it. Great. Thank you, Elizabeth. Okay, so our judges are going to wrap up their scoring over here. I think you guys probably have a little bit more stuff you're going to do over here, so I'm going to let them all go first. So catering is up top. We've got a little happy hour to hang out with everybody, and we will have some awards to give out in about 45 minutes to an hour. Right around, probably by 5 o'clock we'll be giving them out. Please go enjoy the happy hour, enjoy everything. Real quick before you stand up, I'm sorry, I want to give one more thank you to our friends at the Idea Village, at Gino Inc., and at New Orleans Business Labs. We could not do this program without all of them, and their great support. And then of course, our Dean, Dr. Bobby Savoie, and his lovely wife, Lory, who are presenting this program. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. We'll be back in here for awards in about an hour. Awesome. fun. All right. First off, a huge, actual, like absolutely massive thank you to we're gonna do 2 runners up first. Oh, wait, they're separate. Okay. Sorry. Huge thank you to all 9 of these teams that are here today. Like, I cannot. Y'all rule so hard. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of really heavy work, and I really deeply appreciate how involved and how excited each one of these teams has been for the last 2 months. From literally, like, Alabama was the first team to sign up this year, like day of that I messaged Quack. I appreciate you guys are awesome. To literally Loyola Marymount up here who signed up the day before we kicked off. And they rule, and all of you guys, and then everybody in between. And you know, I said this to the folks from John Carroll upstairs while everybody was enjoying themselves. You know, we're a Jesuit university. One of Ignatius's big things, you know, go forth, set the world on fire. That is something that we are really trying to do here at the Center for Entrepreneurship. And that really lines up with entrepreneurship as a whole, right? Like every single one of these companies, in some way or another, is trying to change the world, whether it's with their industry, whether they're trying to make comedic videos on Instagram and YouTube, to, you know, helping high school athletes get like actually fit and ripped and all that stuff. And I actually need to look into that. I'm not a high school athlete, but I too would like to get ripped. You know, it's not always necessarily about you know, making some massive change. It's about looking and seeing what we can do with what we have and the resources that are available. And I think every single one of these teams did that. And like, thank you guys so much. This is so cool. And thank you to all 9 of our companies for being a part of this. This is a huge lift, and giving these university students, these MBA students and graduate level entrepreneurship students, I mean, you're giving them your life, basically. You're like putting her life is in your hands, dude. So it's, that's a Big Lebowski reference, I'm sorry. This is a lot. It's a lot of work. And I deeply thank all of you for being a part of it, and all of you guys for being a part of it, and I need to stop talking and hand out some money. So, first up, we're gonna hand out 2 runners up. Let me tell you the deal with this. We're gonna, grab the checks, and I'm going to announce who they are. And then I need that team and that founder to come up here. We're going to take a couple pictures. Take a couple pictures, cool, got it? Yeah. And then once we're done with that, I'll announce the second runner-up, and then we will announce who's number 1. Who gets to take home these awesome light-up trophies? Hey, how about that? Oh, wait, actually, hold on, one thing. Shit. Okay, it's in here somewhere. All right. Who's seen Spinal Tap before? You guys seen the movie This is Spinal Tap? Okay. So last year, the reason we got these trophies, these light-up trophies, last year we ordered these really cool, in my opinion, plexiglass light bulb prizes for the first place companies and founders and teams, and then for the 2 runners-up as well. And I was so excited about these light bulbs, y'all. I'm not kidding. I was like, oh my god, this is the coolest prize I've ever ordered in my life. And if you've ever seen Stonehenge in Spinal Tap, it comes into the wrong size. This is how big they were. They literally, like, I could fit it in my pocket. So I decided to do something a little more fun this year, and we got these guys, which light up. So thank you, Elizabeth. Ooh, ah. So, all right, I'm going to stop talking. Our first runner-up today was, well, let's do this one first. Our first runner-up today was last year's winner, the University of Alabama. And of course, our friend Blue as well. So we got that text. That's the right check. Yep. Sorry, it's too blue. Yep. Thank you. Perfect. All right. That's for you guys right there, and that is for our friends in Alabama right here. And just you guys want to come up? Right, guys. Oh yeah, you guys want to come up? Hey, big round of applause. Congratulations. I'm sorry. Let's do one without. I'm sorry, I did not give good instructions. One without the judges first. Can we get the judges up on point two real quick? Thank you. Logistics, photos, marketing.
Let's do a couple judges on this side and a couple judges on this side.
There we go. Yeah, thank you guys.
Okay, 3 and 2.
Sam, you want to go on this side?
Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Awesome. Okay, great. Thank you guys. Congratulations. You guys, yes. Oh, please keep the check. Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay. So our next runner-up, I have a little bit of a tie to. Congratulations to Kinks and Loyola, New Orleans for getting. Thank you. I'm not gonna lie, I'm like weirdly uncomfortable with my own school winning, I'm sorry. Well, getting second, like third place, whatever, I don't care. I'm like, I feel weird. I feel weird. I knocked over the ice check. Can we get one with the judges too real quick? Six bucks, yeah, 6 bucks. Oh wait, I'm in front of the basketball players.
Can y'all see me? Alright, ready? One more. Okay. Awesome.
Alright, thank you guys. Congratulations. Alright. So like I said, this has been a really difficult competition. And the judges actually, we had a really tough call down here with first place. It was neck and neck. And I am really excited to congratulate Loyola Marymount University and Pat Princess for winning this year's congratulations, man. Look at that. Take the light up there. Take it. That one is for Janice. Y'all ruled. This was so much fun. Congratulations. Jason, you get up in the photo too, man. Yeah, that's for you. Absolutely. Congratulations, y'all. This was... It was really scary close, y'all. So congratulations to all 9 of our amazing teams. You guys ruled so hard. We could not do this competition without y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed being in New Orleans and being a part of all of this. And I hope to see most of y'all, or at least y'all's universities again next year, because this was a lot of fun. We're gonna get a photo. I would actually really like to get a photo with all of the teams afterwards. If you guys can come up, that would be great. Alright, and now judges real quick.
Ready? Again. One more. Nice. Good.
Thank you guys so much. Thank y'all for coming today and for being a part of this. Congratulations to all of our teams, and actually just congratulations to everybody that was here today. Whether you end up walking away with a prize today or not, I really hope this was a valuable experience for y'all and that this has been fun. We do still have fun too, right? So thank you guys so much. Y'all have a great rest of your Sunday. So yeah, thank you guys.